Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today for another episode of Gold Wingnut Live. Each week I answer your questions about things happening in Sumter County and the villages. These weekly broadcasts and the construction update videos I produce are two of the ways I bring information to you about the construction happenings here in the villages. At Gold Wingnut Productions, I also provide a photo video service for new homes under construction. If you're building a new home in the villages and you need someone to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates, then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo video package for your new home. I've nearly 20 years in the construction industry as a project manager, and in the last 6 years, Gold Wingnut Productions has provided this valuable service to over 300 homeowners. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work's being done right and when it's not. I'm not just taking pictures like some others do. I'm watching your home build with a trained eye to help ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange your package today. Now let's get started with the show.
January 9th, 2025. The frost has still not passed. I fear for my condition as night approaches and temperatures continue to plummet, for the human body is simply not meant to withstand this drastic of weather. I audibly gasped when I checked the temperature on my phone today. 55 degrees. We haven't seen numbers that low in decades. Food is getting scarce, but I don't dare leave my house, for I don't know if my vehicle can survive driving on these treacherous roads. Instead, I will have to put faith in DoorDash drivers to keep me fed. But I worry that they might fall victim to hypothermia if not careful. Some might be shocked to know that Disney World is still open, even in these harsh conditions. The tourists seem to be unfazed by our cold and walk down Main Street in a pair of shorts and a long sleeve. I must admit, I don't know how they do it. Perhaps they themselves are not human. I hear that further south, iguanas have started going into shock and falling from trees due to the cold. Will I too go into shock and be unable to move? Only time will tell. On the bright side, I was finally able to locate my heated blanket in my garage. I half expected it not to work, for it has not been used in years, but thankfully it has become a much needed source of warmth in this frigid winter. I also hope my central heating is up to the challenge of keeping my house warm, for it also has not been used since 2 winters ago. This weather is unprecedented, and if I find the strength to survive, I hope I never have to live through such harsh conditions again. For now, I will continue to log my journey, even when my fingers start to go numb. But all I can do from here on out is hope and wait for the warmth of the sun to return to us once again. If I perish, know that I fought with everything that I could. I shall retreat to my bed now and dream of warmer, sunnier days. May God have mercy on us all.
If I hurt your feelings, that's between you and the Lord. I wasn't even talking to you, but if the boot fits, lace it up and wear it. I didn't mean for you to get offended. I meant for you to get better. Ain't my job to coddle folks who wasn't ever told no as a child. Well, if I hurt your feelings, I reckon they needed hurting. I wasn't raised to lie to people just because they're fragile. I don't apologize for honesty. My mama taught me better than that. Well, I thought we's grown enough to handle a little truth. If I stepped on your toes, maybe scoot them back where they belong.
Hi everyone, it's Don Wiley with Gold Wingnut Live, and I'm here to answer your questions, and we'll talk about the things you want to talk about. This week, I have a special guest. Here we go. My guest today is Mike Barbier. Mike is a retired Navy chief, much like myself, senior chief.
We are.
And he was an Airedale, so we don't hold everything against him, but aviation rating. But anyway, Mike is here. He, like I, has a passion for facts. Would that be a fair assessment, Mike?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Yeah. So tell the folks a little bit about yourself.
How you doing? I'm Michael Barbier. I'm a realtor in the villages. I'm an MLS realtor. I buy and sell homes for people who are looking to buy into the lifestyle. This place is fantastic. I moved here about a year and a half ago into the village of DeLuna. I'm in DeLuna South in the Verandas. Love it. It's probably the best place that I've ever lived, and I've moved multiple times in the military over 25 years. I'm really excited about continuing to learn what what the village is all about. For the last couple of weeks, I've been doing deep dives into the villages.
So, what are some of the topics you've been diving into, Mike? Because I know a lot of people have probably seen them on Facebook, so it's time for them to put a face with the words.
Yeah, I've always been worried about putting my face out there, but now I'm excited at the opportunity. But I wrote some articles. Like one of the biggest articles I wrote about was what you can't see that's in the villages, what it takes to run the villages besides the golf carts and the amenities, and there's more to it than that. There's infrastructure, there's drainage, there's utilities and geology, and there's people who would have questions about the aquifer, the sinkholes, and just a general building of the developers that are what they're doing with the developers.
Okay. Yeah. So if you read his articles, I will tell you they're long. Okay. I'm not going to kid you. It's going to take you 15, 20 minutes. I've been reading them with a passion. They're very good, very factual, and the important thing is they're very accurate, folks. Unlike Mike, under 55, I think that's his IQ, I don't know. But who talks about stuff that he has no clue about. All he's doing, in my opinion, is just trying to run up his Facebook numbers so he can get monetized. But so we have a couple of questions here. We'll clear through those, and then we'll talk some more with Mike. So it's a little bit different setup today. In fact, we're in my kitchen. Let me turn this off because we'll turn off the background. Where'd the background go? As you can see, we're in the kitchen. So, yeah, it doesn't look well. All right, so we're going to go back to putting the background back on. Got to advertise, right? I mean,
Exactly.
Anyway, so the first question I got is from Mushki, and she says, hi, is it possible to postpone the 44 Morse Road update project until US 301 Turnpike widening, relocating project is finished? So both the main north and south won't be blocked. Mushki, no. So the state is doing 301, the Morse Boulevard 44 interchange. That's a county project. We haven't started on it yet. I don't know the exact start date. We're still doing the design. Once we get the design, then we'll be able to put the design out for an estimate. Once we get the estimate, then we can put it out for bid. And, so it's going to take at least another year before that happens. Now, 301 is started. They've started working the bypass for the city of Coleman. And they're working on that. That's in 164. I got some really good footage of it. And then they're also working the southern leg, which goes from, what's the name of it? The Rick Scott Industrial Park. That's 525 East, which is the road that goes, and if you're heading south out of Coleman, you hang a right, and that's where all the trucks are going. That's where they build the walls for the precast walls over at DZ Precast. But south of there, all the way to 470 is phase 2, and phase 3 is the northern section. Right now, in the northern section, they're also widening the interchange for the turnpike. So there's a lot of moving parts going on. Honestly, don't forget, we got 301 going on. We've got the widening of I-75. They're putting an extra lane in each direction. And coming up soon, probably in another year or so, they'll be starting on widening the turnpike to 4 lanes in each direction.
Wow.
So if you look at it, we'll have 301, we'll have the turnpike, we'll have I-75, all undergoing widening all at the same time. That's 3 out of the 4 major arteries in Sumter County. The only one left is already done, and that's 27441. So it's not going to get delayed. Let's see. Don Nat Harding. Don Harding. Okay, I apologize for the name. Who are the names of the builders in the villages? Does anybody know? There's only one builder. That's the villages. Okay, the developer builds all the houses. Now he has different teams. Those different teams are run by different project managers. You'll see names if you go through the construction area. You'll see names on the windows like West and Chicolo and that. These are the project managers that are overall in charge of that particular build. But it's all the developer doing all the building, and they all contract with, all the project managers contract with the same subcontractors. Hi, BV Bum says, hi Don, have a new build, cement. Oh, hey, we'll get to that in just a second. Let's see. Craig the Sailor says, hey folks, hope you're not completely frozen down there. I don't know about you guys, but I'm already tired of this cold weather. I mean, it's, according to my watch, it's 46 degrees out. When I got up this morning, it was 22. And I don't know about you, Mike, but I moved to Florida, so I didn't have to put up with this.
Like 3 days ago, I had my window open. It was 82 degrees.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean, the drastic changes in weather from 82 to 32. What was it last night? Was it 30? Was the low?
Last night, the low was 20.
20.
Yeah.
Everybody's freaking out.
Yeah. So I got some questions on the low temperatures. We're going to get to those. Let's finish running through some of these. Okay, BB Bum says, I have a new cement build, was looking at the exterior paint job, and there are occasional small air bubbles in the paint where I can see the cement below. Do you think it's an issue? Yeah, if it's a brand new house, I would submit a warranty claim, because it shouldn't be doing that. You know, occasionally you're going to get some bubbling, but rare, very rare. Make sure it's not just a lump of concrete or stucco underneath it. But generally I haven't seen too many problems with the paint jobs though. Let's see, I started early today. You know, I do all the pre-show stuff, and then I add up all the seconds, and I divide it by 60, and sometimes I get it right, and sometimes math challenges me, which is just amazing because I'm normally pretty good at it. So yeah, we ended up going a little bit. Middleton Sodfather says, why don't they insulate around the water main lines, faucet lines, and water heater lines in the uninsulated exterior walls of frame-built houses, just like the areas with the vulnerable water lines? So, you know, this was, it's been a big topic the last couple of days. I'm going to show you some pictures of what doesn't work. But we don't get freezes like this that often. I mean, it's just, they don't happen that often. This is a fluke. The last time it was like this was 10 years ago. So there's not a big cause for it. Some people have said, well, put some pool noodles on it. Let me see if I can pull up that PowerPoint. Yeah, there we go. All right, so we are gonna, so this is a typical exterior hot water heater. And what we're, you know, you've got some pipes on the exterior of the house, all right? You got some valves, and then you got this big box, all right? I gotta find the right, okay. So there's the pipes underneath going in and out of the house. See the valves right there? That's the shut-off valves. All right. So this is what somebody did. Okay, first off, they did the gas lines. The gas lines aren't going to freeze. Okay. If they freeze, well, I guess hell froze over, because that's what it's going to take. I think it's like minus 250 degrees before natural gas goes solid. Right. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. So there's nothing to worry about with the gas lines. But when we look at the house lines, okay, let me back up a little. So here's the problem. See that right there? Whoops, you can't see it because you can't see my mouse. But you can see the valves aren't covered, okay? Which means they're going to lose heat. You lose heat, it's going to freeze, okay? You have to have everything covered, which this is not, and then there has to be a supplemental source of heat. Up north, they use heat tape. They wrap around the pipes and they put insulation around it. That keeps the pipes from freezing. Just putting insulation on it, not going to do any good. All insulation does is slow the rate of heat transfer. Eventually, all the heat transfers out, the water will freeze. Again, it's not a big deal down here in this area. It doesn't happen that often. You know, some people will say, well, just let your water trickle. You better have a pretty good flow to keep it from freezing, because it's not going to make a difference. This is a complete waste of time. And the insulating quality of a pool noodle, you might as well have gone to Starbucks and got a styrofoam cup and wrapped it around. So it really is completely, this is a complete waste of time. The other part of this is, inside that box, there's pipes. There's no pilot light in these. They have an electric igniter. So there's no pilot light in there. There's no source of heat. So even though you got the pipes covered on the outside, which again does no good, but you have inside the box, it's going to freeze too. So, you know, either you do it all or you do none. And you might as well just do none and not waste your time. Let's see. So traveling by golf, Muskie says, so traveling by golf cart will be faster than car. Yeah, in certain areas. I mean, I don't think that the widening of, there we go, got to get to the right camera. I don't think the widening of 301, or excuse me, not 301, Morrison 44 is going to have a huge impact. You know,
I don't see where that's the major points of traffic yet.
well, the contention is that, hey, you know, Walmart's going in there, and it's going to cause more traffic. But you know, it's funny, folks. We heard this about Costco. Have you been up to Costco? There's no traffic jam there.
You can't go to Costco. Every time I go there, I spend $500.
So you know how to stop that?
Don't go to Costco.
Don't go to Costco. I have the same problem with Sam's. You know,
Oh.
I went to Sam's the other day to pick up some dog biscuits, and I ended up spending like $200, and it's like,
Yeah, we went to Costco the other day just to get a few things. You know, that never turns out right.
no, it doesn't. Let's see. Any plans to widen 470 between Middleton and 301? Yes, David, actually, that is going to be happening. The developer is helping out with that. They have some construction that's got to go on at the same time. There is a rapid infill basin that is being put in for the Gibson wastewater treatment plant. The Gibson wastewater treatment plant is the one behind Fire Station 48, right there at Moultrie Creek. This is a tertiary rapid infill pond, so when everything goes bad, eventually the water's going to go down there, and it's down by I-75. So they're going to be doing work there already. This is a growing road. It's Central Parkway and 470 traffic has been growing on it. It's been growing on it for years because you can't, if you're going north on the turnpike, you can't go south on I-75. And if you're going north on I-75, you can't go south on the turnpike. So the only way to make that connection is through either 470 or 48. And most people use 470. So we need to widen that. That'll leave just a small section right there by the interstate that's not 4 lanes, but it's coming. So
Progress,
yeah.
Everything takes time.
Yes, it does. Let's see.
Hi, Kelly. Thanks.
Let's see. Was 15 a few days ago in central New York the other day. Oh, well, Susan, I'm glad you're in New York and I'm not, because 15 is too much for me. Craig says, hey, thanks for the excellent write-ups on behind the scenes goings on. And finally, someone with the knowledge of explaining the ground depression inherent in Florida. So that's your
The sinkhole.
the sinkhole article. So one of the things Mike and I have been discussing is using those articles as a basis for some videos, because let's face it, it can be tough chewing through all that. If we put it, we're looking at doing the audio track and then putting in some graphics and some actual footage. That's a little more easy to digest. And
Yeah, someone joked that they cut and pasted my article into Word and it was 75 pages, but I don't think it is.
it's probably 10 pages
Yeah,
easily.
it was pretty long.
Yeah. All right. Okay, here we go. Kim Adams says, hey Don, where is the new cell tower going to be near Eastport? Well, there's already a cell tower near Eastport, okay? That cell tower was relocated a few years back. That used to be over by the Franklin Recreation Center. How the developer convinced a cell phone company to move, actually a cell tower company, to move a tower is completely mind-boggling. That is just an unheard of accomplishment.
You can always ask, right?
Yeah.
They did the same thing about the prison, didn't they?
No, we're not even going to go. We're not going to go about the prison, Mike. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Villages is not buying the prison. Yeah. But anyway, the new cell tower that's being built, though, is over in, well, technically, I guess right now you would call it Shady Brook. It's, if you go to Bexley Trail like you're going to go to, if you follow Bexley Trail as far as you can, you're going to end up at the Shallow Creek Golf Course. Well, just before you get to Shallow Creek Golf Course, the houses end and there's a maintenance facility there. That maintenance facility across the street from that is where the cell tower is going in. They've got the foundations poured for it. I've got those in 164's video. I'm hammering away as much as I can on it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know everybody complains about the lack of cell phone connection in that area. This will definitely increase that.
Yeah,
increase the signals down there.
It will. Yes, definitely. All right. Let's see. Son of Sodfather. This guy keeps himself busy. Will Seacoast Bank work hand in hand with the villages to continue seamless 30-day close mortgages, or is that process going to change? What do you think, Mike?
I thought they just sold their bank.
So yes, Seacoast is the bank that was that purchased Citizens First Bank.
Okay.
Citizens First Bank was put together by the villages. The family put it together because trying to get mortgages approved, well, it's a pain. Now, if you bought a house here in the villages and you went through Citizens First Bank, it was as easy as going and buying a new car.
Wow.
I mean, they understand the product, so there's very little question about the value of the homes, but they also understand our financial situation. We're retirees, okay? Trying to get a mortgage as a retiree, without income can be challenging.
Most definitely.
Even if it's a VA loan. So, I don't know, what's your thoughts on VA loans? To me, they're the most expensive loans you can get.
Yeah,
most
expensive,
fee.
but if you're a little bit disabled, you get some of that funding fee back, or it's waived. It's usually great for military guys because sometimes you're more able to get picked up with a VA loan than some other loans. But they also look out for you on the VA loan. So like their inspections are a lot more stringent when they have a VA loan.
Right.
Which is definitely in the favor of the member.
Yeah. I know. I had a VA loan for my very first house 27 years ago. Oh my gosh, I'm getting old.
I did too. I have two right now.
And I was amazed at the cost. I mean, it was like I got out from underneath it about a year and a half later, and I haven't looked back since. I've always gone conventional after that. But back to Seacoast and the villages. I don't think we're going to see any change in that. You still have the same people going to be working it. They understand the product. Again, my understanding of the whole buyout was a bank only has a limited amount of lending capacity. And when they start getting near that limit of their lending capacity based on their assets, they can't lend anymore. Now, Citizens, Seacoast, is a much larger banking facility. So they have access to much greater assets. Now, I'm not in the banking industry. This is a conversation I had with somebody who was supposedly knowledgeable on this topic. So, that's my understanding. But I don't think we're going to see a change because it's too much a part of what's critical for the business here in the villages. They make it definitely easy. Don, is there a heliport in the villages to hospital transport? Good question, Diane. Yes, there is. So there is one up at the Spanish Plains Hospital, which is the one up in Lady Lake. They're building one at the UF emergency room down by Brownwood. I thought there was supposed to be another one coming in. But yeah, but there is helicopter access, so it's not a big issue.
Being a helicopter guy, the thing about helicopters, they can land anywhere.
Let's see. Okay, Don, any idea when Warm Springs 301 is getting a traffic light? That'll be in phase 3. Warm Springs 301 is where Dunkin' Donuts
Right,
is at.
Dunkin' Donuts, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually,
You weren't a cop, were you?
so, I was looking, I just, coming here, I went by there, I'm like, this would be a good spot for a roundabout because the traffic is not really that bad, and that the one that's coming out to 301, making that right to 301 from Warm Springs, seems like they wait the longest time. But a roundabout there would be perfect.
It's not getting a roundabout. That was one of the early designs. They went back and forth. They're putting a roundabout at Marsh Bend Trail in 301. They're putting a roundabout at, there's another one. I believe it's at 525, 301, basically that area we talked about where the Rick Scott Industrial Park is. Yeah. But those are where the traffic circles are going. And I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I looked at it. But there's some traffic improvements going in at 301 and 470. But anyway, let's see. Greg R. says the Rheem tankless heaters do have internal electric freeze protection to prevent the heat exchange from freezing. But that doesn't protect the pipes, as you said. Okay, I didn't know they had, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I didn't know they had internal freeze protection. Makes sense because, personally, I don't like these on-demand hot water heaters. I prefer, I guess I'm old-fashioned.
Right.
Maybe I'm just old. I don't know.
I'm the opposite. I'm a tech guy. I like them. You can endless hot water. It takes a little while to get it warmed up, but once you get it in there, it's endless.
Yeah. Middleton Sodfather, here's a go. Will they be building a Publix near Fire Station 49 in the future? Interesting question. I've heard this rumor myself, but I haven't found anything that factually identifies it. I don't want to say smoking gun, but any public filings. That's what I go by. Last year at this time, I stuck my neck out based on some information I had, and I said they were going to build a Publix in Eastport, and I was wrong. They're building it in Middleton, okay? So shame on me. I didn't stick to my guns and look for that documentation, and I'm not going to go there on this one either until I see some documentation. Again, I've heard the rumors too, but we'll see what comes up. Let's see. This is Trevor Gilman. Okay, he says, "Hi Don. The area being prepped for development near Farragut softball complex. I know the lot sizes appear to be courtyard villas, but why so secret? Another area like Lakeshore Cottages, maybe? No. The lot sizes lend themselves to be courtyard villas, or could be verandas, but it looks more like courtyard villas, or maybe what do they call them now? Cottage villas? No, not cottage villas. Garden villas. Yeah, garden villas. Why so secret? The developer doesn't tip their hat to anything, folks. What I put out, I got to go digging for. And I haven't seen anything yet other than some initial lot layouts on
Edenfield and stuff like that.
Yeah, on that. So as soon as I find out something, though, I'll let you guys know. Right now, you see the big mounds of dirt that they built, years ago. It was over in DeLuna. Now it's south of Marsh Bend Trail over in Long Prairie. They're bringing that dirt back over, and that's how they grade the lots. They build them up so that everything drains. They're not trying to hide anything like somebody else likes to say. Anyway, all right, let's see. Does anyone have a problem with frozen pipes? I don't think it stays cold enough and long enough to cause real problems. That's musky. Some folks from what I understand in Middleton and some other areas, they had some freezing, but I'm sure by now everything is defrosted. Let's see. Above ground irrigation. Muskie, I've seen on Facebook some neighbors have had their above ground irrigation filters freeze and crack. Okay. Above ground irrigation filter, that's something they added themselves because the villagers doesn't put any above ground irrigation filters in. Middleton Sodfather says, this time around we had over 12 hours straight of below freezing temps last night and this morning. That's extremely rare here. Yep, you're right. Orange Mini Cooper says, we use our home very occasionally. We use our home very occasionally. When we left, we turned off the water, so better to bleed the pipes after you shut off the water, or just shut it off and leave pressure in the system. They're gonna bleed down anyway. I mean, the toilets are gonna bleed it off, because if you turn off the water, evaporation, water level in the tank's gonna go down. That's gonna open the valves. Pressure's gonna bleed off. It's no big deal. So it doesn't make any difference. She says, I've been here almost 6 years, and almost every year we get below 32-degree temps. Yeah, you're right. I mean, but it's normally not long. Yeah. This is the first really hard freeze I've seen. Should we drain off our tankless hot water heater? They're controlled by, or are they controlled by the internet? They're not controlled on the internet, by the internet. And I don't see any need to drain them.
No, plus they already said earlier that there's freeze protection inside of it anyway, so it's good to
go. Craig the Sailor says, Don, living up north, pipe insulation alone will definitely slow the freezing process. Normally takes 12 hours to freeze pipes at 32 degrees and 6 at 20 degrees. A pool noodle will slow that. Again, a pool noodle is not a very good insulator. I mean, if it was, they'd be using them everywhere, but they don't. Lots of talk about that. Heat tape definitely will help. Muskie says, a few years ago, temperature stayed below 32 for more than 24 hours straight in a couple of days. And I lost my foxtail palms. So cold weather in winter is not unusual. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people wrapping their plants, making ghosts it looked like.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? Most people didn't. All the public areas didn't. And they'll recover. They always do. Let's see. John Alexander says, we set our dishwasher to run at 4 a.m. to make sure the heater ran and water circulated. Don't know if it helped, but we had clean dishes in the morning. Okay. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, that's a good way to keep the water flowing. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, that probably wasn't a bad idea. Because down about that time is when things were really getting cold.
Definitely.
I don't know what would have happened though if the pipes had already frozen.
It wouldn't work.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Not many. Okay. So again, in Edmond, Washington. I live in Edmond, Washington, and we got snowed in every year. Never covered any pipes or left dripping. Okay. Wow, we got a lot of stuff coming in. Where are we at on time? Okay, we're doing still good. So if you guys have questions for Mike, in the trailer, I put up his web address. What's your web address, Mike?
It's michaelbarbier.com. Easy. Michael Barbier. Barbie with an R. Barbier.
And he's got, at the bottom of his page, there's a blog. You can see all the articles there. Great stuff. They've been on Facebook too. Lots and lots of views, lots and lots of comments. Again, some really well-written stuff. All right, here we go. Flybird says, Craig the Sailor and Nicole, we are moving into Hammock at Finney. I am one of the originals as I bought new 4 years ago in Hammock at Finney. Oh, when are you moving? Okay, yeah, Craig the Sailor bought a house in Hammock at Finney. So
very nice.
Yeah, gosh, I can't believe it's been 4 years. I remember when that was under construction. I was flying out there, everything we could to get any kind of footage. So Freehand JT says, if you had to take a guess, when do you think, where do you think they will build the new Street of Dreams, Long Prairie, one of the other new neighborhoods? I think Long Prairie is prime candidate at this point.
Agreed.
Because
The new area.
there's Long Prairie, and then there's Farmstead, and then Merritt Field, and that's going from south to north. And then there's also, I'm trying to remember the name of it, but
We get back.
Bradshaw Hill.
There you go.
Bradshaw Hill is, I think, on the other side of McNeil Drive, south of Station 49. So there's a lot going to be happening there for the next 2 years. And I think that's probably where it's going to be. Let's see, Don, do you know anything about the time limit to build a pool when backed up against Eagle Preserve and Hammock at Finney? I have no idea. That's a new one on me, Craig. I've never heard of any kind of time limit because you're back up next to an Eagle Preserve. That's a different one. Yeah.
Do you know about any time limit to build a pool when backed up? There shouldn't be any time limits. Time limit, time's not usually a restriction.
I mean, the only thing I could see, but I've never heard of it happening, would be during nesting season, because they don't want the extra noise. But, there's so much work going over there.
Talk to your pool builder person. I'm sure they'll know if they're servicing the villages.
I wouldn't go to the pool builder. I would go to the county and ask. Okay, pool builder. I mean, a lot of good reputable pool builders out there, but they're here to make money. They're here to make a sale. They're going to tell you anything it will take you to get you to sign on that paper. Unfortunately, I had one of my neighbors in Moultrie Creek that extensive work being done on his house, no permits pulled.
Oh.
He found out about it about 2 weeks ago, and he fired him. And I told him go to talk to the county, and so he's getting things straightened out. Let's see. The REAM manual says the heater will not freeze unless below 30 degrees below zero. Co-host is fantastic. Okay, thanks, good. I like you. All right. Temperature 30 degrees and water bottles didn't freeze to block with ice. All right. Let's see. We'll get to that in just a second. Just trying to catch up here.
Wow.
Mike, let's get the Comet hot dogs to Eastport.
Yeah, I just wrote that article that Coney Island hot dogs. The drive-in just left yesterday. Yesterday was the last day, so hopefully you guys got your fill. But they do have one in Eustis, and they have one in. There's about 20 minutes away. Broadfield. I forget the name of the city. It's in the article.
Yeah. I didn't go there. I've been meaning to stop in there for quite a while because it looks good, but I'm always in a hurry when I'm going up and down 301. So.
The shakes they have are amazing, especially the strawberry. I really enjoyed it.
All right. So what else we got here? Muskie says thank you. VS FY 2023. The voice of reason. Okay. It appears people are addicted to the sky is falling message. Yes, ain't that the truth? I'm going to be around the first. Okay, Craig's moving in somewhere in April. Backs up to the Eagle Preserve. That's not an Eagle Preserve. The small woods behind your home just has an eagle's nest. Okay. When we get there, we'll meet. Okay. All right. Victoria, thank you for your donation. She gave me a nice donation. She says, do Middleton homes have bonds also? Stay warm. I'm hoping you're warm up in New Jersey, Victoria. Yes, they have bonds. It's just the nature of building here. I mean, it's about cash flow.
Right.
That's how come we don't have the phantom pools and the phantom golf courses that never got built, because the developer's money isn't tied up in sewer pipes and water lines and that. Their cash is free to build the amenities that we all enjoy.
Right. They use that money to build the roads and build everything else, that's associated with your home, not just your home.
Right. All right. So sounds great. I live in the village across from Red Fox. Okay, that's Flybirds. And Craig, thank you also for your donations. I appreciate it. All right. Muskie's wanting a Wingnut meetup. We're going to have to do that. You're right, Muskie. All right. Coney Island, Brooksville.
Thanks, guys. Brooksville, yes.
Yeah,
Brooksville is where the Coney Island is. That's the other one. That's only about 20 minutes if you're in the area 301 and DeLuna. And I know it's about that distance.
Let's see. Brooksville again. We'll get Sam Propane and Craig RH to come as well. Okay, good. When will the new cell tower go up? Before or after lots go on sale in Long Prairie? Good question. Again, the foundations are in. All 3 foundations are in. It's a 3-sided tower. I think there's a construction trailer there now. So I would say it's probably going to go up in the next month or so. So I think it'll predate the actual occupancy of homes down in Long Prairie. All right, so it is 3:35. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to get some more coffee, and we'll be right back. Thanks for sticking with today's broadcast of Gold Wingnut Live. Pardon me for just a minute while I go grab a fresh cup of coffee and stretch my legs and back. While you're waiting, let me ask you a quick question. Are you building a new home in the Villages and need someone with a trained eye to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates? Then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo-video package of your new home. I've nearly 20 years experience as a construction project manager, and I've been offering this valuable service to residents for over 6 years. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work is being done right and when it's not. Fortunately, serious issues are rare, but even the most minor issues are better caught during construction than during closing. I'm not just taking pictures of your home like others do. I'm watching your home being built with a trained eye to ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange for your package today. Now let's get back to the broadcast.
It is colder than a mother-in-law's kiss. It's so cold my plumber pulled his pants up. This kind of cold will freeze the hinges right off the gates of hell. It's so cold the chickens are lining up to get in the oven. It's colder than a room full of ex-wives at a wedding. This kind of cold will freeze the balls off a pool table. It's so cold the thermostat gave me the middle finger. This kind of cold is meaner than a skillet full of rattlesnakes. It's cold enough to freeze the balls off a brass monkey. It's so cold the Statue of Liberty put the torch inside her dress.
All right, we are back. Thanks for sticking with us, folks. So I have with me today Mike Barbier. He is a local realtor and the author of some very interesting articles. So Mike, what are you working on now? What's your latest project for articles?
Well, the latest article I wrote was the golf one. How many holes there are in the Villages? 891.
Old news.
Yeah, it's constantly growing.
What's next?
Oh.
What's next? What are you working on next?
I actually want to do some research on the what we're talking about today, the 301 and the expansions and stuff like that. I think that's probably everybody's key interest right now. Because they're tired of sitting in the traffic for 30 minutes trying to get from DeLuna to the Turnpike. So.
Well, that's probably 2 years till we're complete. It's a big project.
Oh, definitely.
The fact that they've already broken ground and are working on it. They're grading the roadbed over in the bypass for Coleman. I'll be honest with you. My fear with the rerouting of 301 is the city of Coleman. It's a very small town. It's a very nice little town, but it doesn't have a whole lot of commercial business. I think there's one gas station there. 301 is going to bypass that gas station. I'm afraid that they're going to see some tough economic times just from a loss of business.
I think it can go two ways. I mean, it can go, they can take it and then run with it, or go the other way.
Yep. All right. We'll get to Muskie's comment. So somewhere in the sun wants to know, will the DeLuna gate still stay? Yes, it will. It's going to stay. There will be a traffic circle there. We have gates at traffic circles all the time. My old house was on Hillsborough, right off of Hillsborough Trail and Buena Vista, literally at the corner of those two roads. And there was a gate right there on Hillsborough Trail. So there's no problem with DeLuna. It's not going to lose its gate. I just wanted to talk about the 2-cent gas tax. Flybirds, we're going to talk about that in this half. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes. Victoria wants to know, are all the new villages that are built required to have certain amount of courtyard villas, patio villas, verandas, designer homes, etc.? Is it up to the builder what they want to build? So there's only one builder, and that's the developer, the villages. And they've planned this out years in advance. If you look north of, 44, about 25% of the homes were courtyard villas and patio villas. And about 5% were premier homes. And maybe 10% were cottage, and the rest were designer homes. The mix has changed a little bit. The introduction of verandas has changed things. I think they're building less courtyard villas, but they're building a lot more verandas, which a veranda is just a courtyard villa, is just a designer home. So for example, I own a Hillsdale, which is a Dove. Okay, in the designer series it's called a Dove, and in the veranda it's called a Hillsborough, and that's what you have, right?
Yep, 3-3.
Yep, yeah, beautiful home. But
one of the few houses with fences here.
Yeah, that's the thing. And what's the deal with courtyard villas and verandas? The 2 P's: pets, privacy.
Privacy.
That's the main drivers for both those styles of homes: pets and privacy. Whether you want your privacy, but for me, it was pets. Because I got Sully and Lily, which I got Lily wrapped around my feet, which is good because with the wind blowing, I'm sitting here next to the dog door and it's flapping open and I'm freezing my feet off. All right. Let's see. Okay, we talked about that. Great the Gate is an asset in my opinion. Very useful. Okay. This is 100% right. The county has countless cities that failed due. The country has countless cities that have failed due to road redirecting. Yep, it's true. I mean, you go out west, and you see it. They'll put in an interstate, and they'll bypass things. I've only been on a few sections of it, but Route 66. Mm-hmm. If you ride a motorcycle, that's the mother road to go on. And there are areas that, when they built I-40 and what are the other ones? I don't remember the other interstates, but literally the towns died. because the traffic bypassed them. They didn't have the
Traffic.
the commercial traffic.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, let's see. So again, Flybird wants to know, did you talk about the 2-cent gas tax? All right, we're going to talk about that now. Muskie also said, Muskie went to our county commission workshop 2 weeks ago. She got to endure the pain of sitting there for 3 hours as we went over all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of information, a lot of stuff we go over in these workshops when we start talking about the budget. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Myself and the other county commissioners, we spent a tremendous amount of time going through the numbers and working with staff to try and get things straightened out. So one of the things that was discussed is there is a campaign that is being initiated by Sumter County Public Information Officer, the PIO, at the direction of the Board of County Commissioners for the 5th and 6th cent constitutional gasoline tax. So what is that? So the county collects 8 cents per gallon on gasoline or diesel fuel. And 2 of them are optional. They're the 5th and the 6th cent. And they were put into place in 2008. And they have to be, because of some changes that the Florida legislature did last year, they have to be reaffirmed by the population. So that represents, that 5th and 6th cent represents about $2 million of revenue. That goes for road repair and road construction. That's in addition to the impact fees that are collected on all the new homes. But it's a significant portion of our revenue. The important thing to remember, folks, though, is most of that isn't coming out of villages, the county residents' pocket. Because of I-75 and because of the turnpike, there's 3 exits on I-75, 1 exit on the turnpike, plus the Okahumpka Service Plaza that collect the majority of those sales taxes for the 5th and 6th cent, and it goes to the county, but those people are just transiting through. And, if you look at the amount of fuel the average villager uses, it's not that much because you're using a golf cart. If you buy gas in your golf cart every 10 days, you're talking about 10 cents because it's a 5-gallon tank. That's a penny a day. So you're talking 2 cents a gallon. That's not a whole lot. If you burn through a tank of gas a week, 15, 18 gallons, what are you talking, 30, 35 cents? So a nickel a day. I go through about 100 gallons of fuel in my truck every week, so that's $2 a week. Yeah, I mean, it's 35 cents, whatever, a day. But again, the majority of that money is coming from the folks passing through the county. It's free money. We can't give it up. I hope people can understand that, because it really does make a big difference. This interchange with Marsh 44 and Morse Boulevard, that's where the money's going to come from to pay for that, as well as our road maintenance. All right, let's see. Michael, when people have a lifestyle business in the villages, they're automatically assigned a VLS agent. How do people know that they should also have an MLS agent to see are the homes available?
Good question, Debbie. Thanks for sharing that. That's great. There's 2 different types of real estate in the villages. There's the VLS and then there's the MLS. The MLS is the guys who are not working the villages. When we can only sell used homes there. The VLS takes care of the brand new houses and some pre-owned if the owners want to sell it through the VLS, or they can use an MLS person for the used homes. But the only way to see all the houses that they can see, if you're looking for a new house, is to use both an MLS and a VLS realtor. So make sure if you're not using one or the other, use that in your, put that in your toolbox, because it's huge. You don't want to buy things in a grocery store or a car but only seeing half the cars, right? You want to see all the cars before you buy your car, right? Same thing.
All right.
Good question. Thank you.
All right, so I had to jump up and put the flap in for the dog door because my feet are freezing because the wind is blowing down here. Anyway, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. That was a good answer. Let's see. Interstates put many towns out of business. Yep, I agree, Craig. Jim Osborne says, Don, can you tell us about the new state law regarding having and doing things in your enclosed backyard? I don't know of any new law for that. It may have been a bill that was introduced. You got to understand the Florida legislature is in session for 5 or 7 weeks, and they put all these bills up, and they go through a whole process. They got to be read twice. They go through committee meetings. Eventually, they will either die in committee, or they'll make it to the floor and then get voted on. If they get voted on, then they got to go to the governor's desk and be signed before they become law. This one I haven't heard anything about, so we'll see what happens. I'll do some looking. I get a legislative brief every week. I haven't seen anything on this one again. One of the things I did, and I had a question about, was on, this was from Tom. He asked about synthetic turf. Okay, and I believe that was a new bill that was introduced. I don't know where it sits. It looks terrible, in my opinion.
I've been looking at both sides. I just seen an article recently about that, and they're looking at the environmental effects of it. The microplastics that are going underneath there. It's crazy. That was in my research. That's one of the things I've seen, because I thought I posted a picture about my backyard. I wanted to expand and make it look pretty back there. People have nice golf course looking grass in the back, but I wanted to have maybe some astroturf, and started doing my research, and it's not good. Definitely for a long term. Maybe something you can put in there for a short term, but definitely not a long term thing.
All right. I think it looks tacky myself. Less water, I get it. But again, microplastics are a concern. There's all kinds of chemicals used to make that plastic. It does break down. There is many aspects of the issue that need to be fully investigated. I guess the good thing is you don't have to cut the grass.
Don't have to cut it. Don't have to water it. But drainage is sometimes an issue. Get the microplastics going into the aquifer. That's the biggest concern. Because we're in Central Florida, we sit on the cursed aquifer. The cursed territory. We got to keep an eye on our water. And
the upper and lower Floridian aquifers are a big concern, especially the upper Floridian. I can never get that one right. The upper Florida aquifer is where we get our drinking water from. I get to know a lot about this because I'm chairman of the Withlacoochee River Water Supply Authority. One of my many jobs as a county commissioner. But, so we're very concerned about the water levels and stuff going into there.
Speaking of water levels, did you know that 76% of all water used in the villages is reclaimed in stormwater?
Yep. Most of it is reclaimed stormwater, and south of 44, they're also using it from the wastewater treatment plant. So, and that new Wildwood wastewater treatment plant, that's $150 million or whatever the heck it is, nothing from the villages is going there, okay? We have our own wastewater treatment facilities. Yep. Right now, everything in the south end is going over here to the Gibson wastewater treatment facility behind Station 48 over in Moultrie Creek. All right. Craig Sailor says in Washington State, our combined gas tax is 83 cents. In Florida, it's 58 cents a gallon. So that's combined state, federal, and local tax, and the local is 8 cents out of that. Craig wants to know, Muskie wants to know what's the price of unleaded over there. Yep. So he's in Washington State. I can't imagine what it is. Back to that 2 cents. How often do you see the gas prices fluctuate? I took Debbie out to the Japanese hibachi restaurant in Lake Sumter Landing last night, and we were driving back. I was driving back to drop her off, and it's like, okay, the gas prices are back up. It was $2.97 at the Circle K. On Monday, I paid $2.35.
Wow, that's a pretty big
that's a big swing. I don't know.
That's why I love my Tesla.
Yeah, you can keep your Tesla.
Yeah.
All right. Flybird says, yep, I drive less than 5,000 miles a year. I have 9,000 miles on my new truck, and I've had it 5 months. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm putting so many miles on, it's crazy. Let's see, Craig typically buys his fuel in Idaho, right across the state line, where it's $2.24, but here in Spokane, it's about $3.49. Yep. VLS was, okay, Muskie says, my VLS agent was upfront with me right away. He told me that if I wanted to see MLS listed homes, you need an MLS agent. VLS agents are upfront. Yeah, if you're coming here, if you're looking for a new home, you're going to have to deal with VLS, and you're going to have to build with the developer's sales agent. If you're buying a resale, about 2/3 of the resales are listed with the villages, and about 1/3 are listed with MLS. My impression is when the MLS agents, I think, are willing to work a little harder.
Definitely. And we,
nothing against the villages realtors, or excuse me, I can't use that word, can't I?
it's structured, more structured.
Well, no, I mean the word realtor.
Oh, yeah. The villagers are not realtors; they're real estate agents.
Yeah, well,
Only
I know.
only the MLS have
Yeah,
realtors.
I know, a realtor. Let me get you a Kleenex.
Right.
Okay, and blow your nose. Yeah. It's just a term that's become synonymous with
But it
real
is big.
estate.
It is actually a big word,
Yeah.
because realtor means they have an
Yeah,
ethical
it's-
connection.
And you think that the villages real estate agents don't have any?
No, but I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we have it written in our rules that we have to be ethical.
It's trademarked. I
Right,
understand.
definitely.
Anyway, I got into a big argument on that a few months back. Yes. Anyway, but you're missing all your options if you're buying a resale and you're not using both agents, because
Definitely.
you're gonna miss something. And there's a lot of really beautiful homes. The advantage of a resale is generally if there's a bond, because there may not be because people pay it off. But if there's a bond, it's going to be less than on a new home, and that's because things continue to increase over time. Everything goes up. But resale, a new home is a new home. A resale, people have lived in it, they've added things, they've done things. Prime example, the veranda we bought, the Hillsdale, we dropped $50,000, $60,000 into it in the first year. But we put in crown molding, we put in wainscoting, we put in archways, we painted, we've done the flooring, we've done landscaping, all these things add up.
It looks great too.
Yeah, thank you. But you get the benefit of that without buying the house and then spending it. I spent another 10% of what I paid for my house on add-ons in the first year. It's like, oh my gosh, I need my head examined.
Definitely use both. Definitely use VLS and MLS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, we talked about that. Have you heard anything about incorporating nice metal roofs or accents like the rec centers? Florida does now allow them, right? So,
ARC.
yeah, that's going to be an ARC issue. That's going to be up to your individual CDDs if they're going to allow it. What they're talking about there is there's some new roofing materials, metal roofs. They have metal roofs that look like shingles. Whether those are going to be allowed or not, it's going to be up to your individual CDD boards if they want to talk to your CDD board. That's the best I can tell you. VSFY 2023 says synthetic turf is horribly ugly and terrible for water table. Okay. If you have a VLS and MLS agent, how does the commission work?
So there's no MLS VLS usually. You can have a buyer's agent that can work for you on the VLS side, but that it'll come out of the buyer's pocket. Not the village will not pay for it. Now, if you're buying a house straight through the village's sellers pays your commission.
Yeah, I switched cameras before you were done. Right as you were finished talking. All right, sorry about that.
No problem.
All right, let's see. A home property management employee told me Friday that some new units in Eastport area have deed restrictions prohibiting short-term rentals depending on the unit number. Is that accurate? Yes, that is accurate. Some of the new units, they are putting that in the deed restrictions. It'll be interesting to see how they try and enforce that.
Yeah, I mean, you have the community drivers all around that. They don't. I don't know if they'll know what they're looking for, but
that's not Community Watch's job.
Yeah, it's not their job, definitely.
There is the Florida legislature has given us the ability to tax these short-term rentals, but they've given us no enforcement capabilities. So, that's been one of my principal arguments. There's discussion about re-implementing a tourism tax here in Sumter County. Okay, I don't have a problem with that, but everybody's got to collect it. As it stands right now, it's just going to be a handful of hotels that they're going to collect it from, and most of the people staying here are in Airbnb, Vibo or whatever, Verbo or whatever the heck it is, these short-term rentals.
VRBO, yep.
And they're not paying it. So I got problems with that. But when we get some teeth to collect it, then I'm all for it. Let's see. Love my artificial turf because dog poop is easy to pick up. In St. Augustine, it falls down into the blades of grass and can't find it, I guess. Yeah, poop happens.
Exactly.
Trust me, you got 2 golden retrievers, it's an issue.
It's a big dog, too.
Yeah, a lot of things are big with golden retrievers. Let's see, a house I bought in Houston once had artificial turf in the backyard. It was a royal pain keeping it clean. We ripped it out. Okay?
Yeah, heat's an issue too. Sometimes you can't stand on it in the middle of the summer because it gets too hot. So, you're wanting to burn your feet or animals burning your feet. So that's another thing to take into consideration.
Yeah. All right. So Jim says, when it comes to sinkholes, do y'all think most sinkholes are caused by leaking pipes, etc., in the villages that are not really deep geo sinkholes? So it's not a sinkhole if it's caused by a leaking pipe,
right.
Okay? And it's just erosion. A sinkhole is a specific geological anomaly, and it goes down pretty deep.
We're built on limestone. We're built on limestone. Every time we have heavy rains or rapid water table changes, other groundwater pumping, it's gonna make some changes to the underground. The limestone. Yeah, every time the limestone erodes, think about a sugar cube, right? So you have a sugar cube. You put water on the sugar cube is going to erode. So that's what it is here. It's not the overdevelopment. It's not just the overdevelopment, but it's more about the rain. eventual breakdown of what's underneath the villages.
Yep.
And the surrounding area, of course.
So it's not just the level going down. If the level goes down, it causes voids, which means that the limestone doesn't have the support from the water, and that can cause it to collapse. But when the water level goes up, because it rains, now you get erosion and dissolving of the limestone, which weakens it. It's a no-win. I mean, the water level goes up or the water level goes down, it can cause sinkholes. Retention ponds can cause, in their own right, a sinkhole if it's a tremendous amount of weight. And if there is a deep void, it is possible that it can put enough pressure on it that it can cause issues. I think that's what's happening up at Alhambra. They have a recurring one. The same thing up on the Churchill Golf Course. There's a recurring sinkhole there. And I think it's because of the weight. I don't know what caused this one at Wellpoint. I did take some video footage of it. I actually flew the drone directly over it and zoomed in and looked down into the hole. So that's some pretty neat footage.
Wow.
Not a whole lot to see,
Right.
but you can see that it filled itself in. All right. Okay, and when left Washington, sales tax in, whatever county that is, was 11%. Craig and Nicole, you will love gas and low sales tax. It's 7% here. I don't consider 7% low. I'd like 3%. I remember,
3 would be good.
I remember out in Idaho when I was going to school out there. Okay, that was 45 years ago. Yeah, 1980, 81. I was going to school. It was 45 years. I'm old. Sorry, I'm old.
Better in New York, though, right?
Yeah, 3% sales tax back in Idaho back then. Let's see. Do you think they will put rental restrictions on home? Okay, do you think if they put rental restrictions on home, will it slow down the amount of home sales? What are your thoughts?
Unfortunately, it's where we live. There's a lot of turnover here. So I don't think it's going to slow it down. People here tend to find different areas that they like. So they tend to move near their friends. There's a saying that everybody comes here moves about 3 times. So I'm on my first one, and my wife is already thinking about moving. So we'll see how that goes. I've only been here a little over a year. A year and a half is how long we've been here. But I don't think that's going to slow down. If anything, it's going to be it'll increase.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll have too much of an impact. Especially on the new homes, because if you're buying a new home around here, there's this, people call it a lottery. It's a wait list. It's a random pick is what it really is on lots, especially on lots, but on a lot of the new homes as well. It might thin those out a little bit, making it a little easier for people who really want to live here. I don't personally have a big issue with renters. It's the short-term rentals that I have a problem with. I had my friend Ron and Marianne. Ron passed away, unfortunately, a few days before Christmas. They were here 8 years. They rented in Ventura Village. Great people, salt of the earth, and I'm honored to have called them friends. But there was no issue with them renting, none whatsoever. They were as much a part of the community as anybody else that lived there. It's the, hey, I'm here for 3 days, let's go party. Those are the types that I got real problems with. Anyway, let's see. Okay, we talked about that one. I agree. Where I live in Southern California, a good number of people had synthetic turf, always ugly. Yeah, sinkholes happen all over the world.
Definitely.
You're absolutely right. I mean, if there's limestone, you're going to have sinkholes. If there's coal mines, you're going to have sinkholes. I mean,
Yeah, we're not fear mongering. This is just an education. This is just let you guys know what's here and how to look for it and things like that.
yeah. All right. So auditor can. Okay, this is from To Somewhere in the Sun. It says auditor can enforce property tax. That's how we do it up north. It works. No discounts. Yeah. How do you determine if somebody's renting the property? You know, people have more than one home. A good many people here in Florida have homes up north, so they're not full-time residents here. So they don't get the homestead exemption. That's not necessarily the trigger for them being a rental property. I know many people who, you know, they're down here multiple times a year, but they have no renters. But so, you know, it's very difficult to identify. The lobby for these vacation rentals, very powerful lobby in Tallahassee, and it is challenging. I know a few years ago when I was running the first time for County Commission, I had a interview with the Real Estate Association for Lake and Sumter County. And that was the thing they were pinging on. How do you feel about, you know, rental properties and all this? And I told them flat out, I said, they don't belong in our communities. Okay, if you want to have a rental community like they have down in, oh my gosh, I forgot the name of it. It was just on the tip of my tongue. Go down 27, where 27 and I-4 meet. There is a lot of rental communities down there. And that's all there is, rental communities.
Yeah, there's a bunch around here too, being built.
But those are long-term rentals.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about vacation rentals.
Okay, short-term. Oh, no.
Yeah. There's some communities specifically built for that.
Like down in Orlando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because of Disney and that.
Right.
And I told them no. I said, I think they're a blight to our community. They cause more problems than they're worth. And I said, if they want to have separate communities for it, that's fine. I didn't get their endorsement. It is what it is. I'm not, it's the way I feel about it. I don't think it's good for the residents overall. Let's see. Easy turn in. Rental property registry, it works huge. Fine if busted.
Yeah.
That's a nice. See, therein again, the problem is Somewhere in the Sun. The state doesn't give us that ability to levy fines. So on this particular topic, so we have no teeth for that particular one. Let's see. There was one question I wanted to get to. This is from Terry. Halo 2X Survivor, Halo 2 times Survivor, okay. Have a question for today. Are there game wardens, wildlife catchers, that try to keep the alligator population down? Are the amount of them ever managed or kept track of? So Florida Fish and Wildlife, they will come out if there is a nuisance alligator, but generally they are left to their own natural causes. That's why we have so many retention ponds with gators in them. That's why, I mean, years ago we had Larry the alligator over by Brownwood. And unfortunately people were feeding him, he became a nuisance, and they hauled him off to Gatorland. But they only remove the animals if they become a nuisance. You did an article about gators too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, some of the gators, you know, they were worried about the gators going into the storm drains, which was kind of cool. Think about it, if the storm drains are 3 or 4 feet, you know, it can fit a pretty decent sized alligator in there. You know, usually the alligators that they said that just as long as it can turn around, it'll do it. So you know you have like 6 foot, 8 foot alligators that can be in the storm drains, and you know, you've heard the articles being written that you know, people are actually calling them because they see an alligator in the storm in the drain too.
So years ago when Chitty Chatty was under construction, I was taking pictures of some houses, and there were some guys there that were in the storm drain. And I mean, there was like 6 guys working there, 3 trucks, everything was going on. And I got done taking pictures of my house, the houses that I was at. Ashley's house, I remember it was right there, because my friend Ashley, he lived on one of the retention ponds. And I asked, what's going on? You got a problem with the pipes? He says, oh no, there's a gator down here. I was like, what? A gator? He says, oh yeah. He says, it happens all the time, especially in the new areas. They get alligators in the storm pipes. And so they go in, and personally, my hat's off to them. You know, wrangling an alligator is not my idea of
No.
thought. Anything that crawls on its belly and has teeth is off the table for Don.
I think they're pretty cool. I mean, every time we go golfing, we go golfing every Friday. We look for them, and usually they're hanging out on the side of one of the retention ponds, and they won't bother you if you don't bother them most of the time.
Yeah, okay, and I'm not bothering with them. All right, we talked about game wardens, we talked about that. We talked about the plastic grass, we talked about the rain and the hot water here. Wow. All right, so we are, what time is it? What time?
Quarter after?
Quarter after, holy mackerel. All right. Yeah, so somewhere in the sun says rental property registry. It works, huge, fines are busted. And it's a way to start lobbying the state for local teeth to enforce long-term health of homeownership in the villages and less problems. I agree. Tallahassee has no appetite for it, though. Again, they're a big lobbying body, and yeah.
I think the VLS might have an issue with that too. Did you just kill it?
Nope.
Okay. I think the VLS might have an issue with it too because you know, the lifestyle visits. You know, they do the lifestyle visits, but you know sometimes they're booked up. So you want to get an Airbnb or a VBRO to learn about the lifestyle. I mean, I think it might actually probably the happy medium in that would be a limitation. You can only like 80-20 like we have here. You know, for the 55 and up, we can have the same thing with
Who tracks it? Who tracks it?
Right. See, that's the thing.
And that's the problem. You know, I don't think it's fair to our business community, like the hotels and that you know, if we implement a tourism tax, that they be the only ones paying it. You know, and of course the other problem with the tourism money is where do you use it? What do you use it for? We had problems in the past. Some of the events that it was used for didn't necessarily fit the bill for what it was designed for. So, you know, there's a lot of issues with that right now. I mean, obviously the big issue that we're looking at dealing with is this whole property tax issue here in the state of Florida. And I'll speak for all 67 counties in Florida. We're terrified of it because, you know, for example, here in Sumter County, 57% of our revenue comes from property tax. 80%, just over 80% of our expenditures are unfunded state mandates. What does that mean? That's stuff that the state says we have to provide. Well, the only real revenue source we have of any substantial amount is property tax. You know? And right now, our sheriff's office and EMS services, they consume 60% of our budget. Those are state mandated services. So we're gonna have to start cutting things back. Things like, you know, if they get rid of the property tax, I know the talk is right now, well, just on homesteaded properties. Well, that'll make your neighbors real happy if they, you know, that just doing homesteaded properties means that if you have a house in New York and a house here,
It's only your primary home.
it's only your primary home, which means that you're going to be paying more. It's going to create a lot of hardships, a lot of headaches. Let's see. Does Sumter County pay state lobbyists? I know my previous city in Florida decided to pay a minimal amount for a lobbyist because local governments don't have much voice beyond League of Cities. Yeah, there's the League of Cities and Florida Association of Counties are the two big bodies that for the local governments. We have a lobbyist that we pay, and he keeps us informed of what's going on, and he talks to the various legislators on the issues that need to be addressed by Sumter County. Unfortunately, we don't have big pockets like other entities. Don, when can we expect to see 164 this week? This week. I got my overlays done for the maps already. So now really I'm doing the final paste together. I'm going to work on that, and then hopefully tomorrow morning I will start the soundtrack. So hopefully I'm keeping my fingers crossed for Wednesday. I've heard the music on the squares is funded by the developer, primarily through refreshment bars on the squares. Is that correct? So the music on the squares is provided by all the merchants. Now, yes, there's bars. Yes, the developer owns some of the commercial properties there. So all the commercial properties in the town square all contribute to paying for the entertainment. It used to be that about half of that was covered by the tourism tax. And of course the big concern was in 2020 when it was gotten rid of us, oh, the music's gonna stop. Music's not stopped playing. So.
We just expanded to Eastport.
Well, Eastport still has some growing to do. But the point is, the music didn't stop. The bands are still playing. They figured out a way to make it work and pay for it without levying additional taxes. So there you go.
Yeah, or making it part of your amenity fee. We don't pay. It's not part of your amenity fee, so that's a big thing.
It's not an amenity.
It's not an amenity.
That's right.
I learned that this week in my research.
All right. So we are running long. So, Mike.
It was a pleasure, Don.
So I appreciate you coming on. We'll have to do this again.
Please.
Anything you want to share with us? Come on. I know you got something else in the works. Come on. You got to.
I think the biggest thing is education. Whoever, make sure you guys are using MLS and the VLS to get the full capability of your home search. Don't believe all the rumors you hear, because most of them are. I've already debunked them. Facts over fiction all the time.
All right. Thanks, Mike. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We'll do this again next week. We just got a message in. Okay, yep, we're good. Sorry, I got the iPad. It comes up a lot quicker than what comes up on the screen. I'm looking at the screen and seeing stuff. My timing's off. Anyway, life is short. Power is fleeting. Physical beauty lasts only a very short while. All of us who live long enough will also become weak and very vulnerable at some point. So let us be humble. Help the sick, help the weak, and the vulnerable. For one day, we too will exit the stage, and so let us do it with humility, dignity, honor, and with the knowledge that through our actions, we have left this world a much better place. I'm Don Wiley. Thank you, Mike, for joining us. We'll see you all next week. Have a great day.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yep, be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching today's broadcast of Gold Wingnut Live. These weekly broadcasts and the construction update videos are two of the ways I bring information to you about the construction happening here in the villages. At Gold Wingnut Productions, I also provide a photo-video service for new homes under construction. If you're building a new home in the villages and you need someone to watch the construction for you and send you regular updates, then contact me through my website, goldwingnut.com, and arrange for a photo-video package of your new home. I've nearly 20 years in the construction industry as a project manager, and in the last 6 years, Gold Wingnut Productions has provided this valuable service to over 300 homeowners. I know the work the various trades are doing, and I know when the work is being done right and when it's not. I'm not just taking pictures like some do. I'm watching your new home build with a trained eye to help ensure everything is done right. So go to goldwingnut.com and arrange for your package today, and I'll see you next week right here at Gold Wingnut Live.
Dogs love sleeping in their owner's bed for 3 powerful reasons, and the last one says everything about your relationship. First, to your dog, you're not just a human. You're their safe place, their family, their whole world. Sleeping close to you gives them a deep sense of security. It's their way of saying, I love you, and I trust you completely. Second, dogs adore warmth. Your bed already cozy and warmed by their favorite person. To them, you're like a living blanket, comforting, soothing, and impossible to resist. And the third reason goes even further. Dogs have a natural instinct to protect their group. Even while sleeping, they stay slightly alert. By sleeping beside you, they feel like they're watching over you just as you watch over them. A dog will never sleep somewhere they don't feel safe. So if he chooses your bed or even uses your arm as a pillow, that's not random.
I got a question about this maintenance request you put in. You said you wanted it fixed and running. But do you want it fixed? Or do you want it running? Which one do you want? You don't get both, so choose one.
What do you mean pick one? No, I want it fixed, running, and safe. The employees, okay? So just figure it out.
Whoa. You can't throw safe in the mix too, okay? That's like the mechanic and maintenance holy trinity. Running, fixed, and safe. You can't get all three. And I'm going to tell you right now, safe is not on the table right here. So, do you want it fixed or do you want it running? All right, we can either fix it and it's going to be down for 6 months and it's going to cost about $400,000, or I can get it running in about 30 minutes for $12. What are you feeling? Because you got to pick one.
No, okay, I want it safe, fixed, and running. Okay, let me see these numbers you're talking about. 400,000. 412,000. You ravaged down. Safety is an important aspect of my life, but you said you can have it run in 30 minutes?
Yeah, I can probably have it fixed in 20 minutes, honestly, if I can just find the right size zip ties. I mean, that's really the only thing that's going to hold me back.
Okay, so it's either $400,000 or zip ties. Okay, it's great to know. That's great to know that our multi-million dollars worth of equipment here is being held together with zip ties. But we're going to circle back to this conversation. I just need to know, how, when you say safe isn't on the table and it's going to be unsafe, on a scale of 1 to 10, how unsafe would you say unsafe is when you say it? Is it going to be safe or not?
How unsafe is it going to be? Well, you know where it is out there on the floor, right?
Yeah, I know where it is out there on the floor. Why?
Well, because I'm going to gauge its safety by how fast you should probably walk past it. And I'm going to say you should probably walk past it very quickly. Okay, because the less time you spend near it, the higher your chances of survival are. I'm just going to leave it at that. So have you chosen? Do you want it running, fixed? And regardless, it's not going to be